Deconverted man here, proving the existence of God. Irrefutable, no less. Wait, let me get this title right. Believe, exclamation, indisputable proof, big capital letters, for the existence of God. I already have problems with this. If you had indisputable proof for anything, you wouldn't need to believe at all. For example, I have a small stuffed cat. There you go. You don't have to believe anything. I proved my claim. So you don't need to believe it. Now, I've named him Monty, and I've also decided that he's a he. Both of these things are things that you get to be skeptical about because I could be lying about them. So those are things you might have to believe or take my word on because I could be lying. But it's a relatively small claim. Believing it's not going to really hurt. But you're free to be skeptical of it. Don't get me wrong. So this is ppsimmons. Oh my word. So proving the existence of God. Ooh, okay, so this is copyright, so that's why I'm not filming the video. I'm just gonna read some of the video, not all of it. It's boring. It's 6 minutes, but of course my analysis, if I did a proper one, would take far longer, but I'm just gonna kind of complain about it. So it starts with this really interesting idea that I would love to disprove, and I will right now. If there is a God, and if he, why not call it it, because we don't know what gender it would have, or if it would have a gender, why would it? Unless, I don't know, we made it up. Anyways, if there's a God, and if he is all-powerful, doesn't it stand to reason that he could prove his existence if he so desired? I guess. Okay, let's do a quick experiment. So, Monty here will be my experimentation module. What? Yeah. So, okay, God, levitate Monty right now to prove your existence. Nothing. Yahweh, can you levitate Monty, please? Alright. Allah, would you levitate Monty? Satan, would you levitate Monty? Beelzebub? Angels, demons, any supernatural, ghosts, would you care to make Monty levitate? Anything that can hear my voice that has the power to do so, please levitate Monty right now. Nothing. So, if there is a God, it either doesn't care enough about proving that it exists to levitate Monty off of that cup. In fact, a feat that this guy's really light. I mean, he's not super light, but I can lift him. I mean, it's not difficult. You know, it's not like a strain on me to lift it. No entity that I called just now did anything. No matter how many religious people you get around the world to pray and plead and beg and kill and slaughter animals and human sacrifices and whatever the bleep else, none of that will ever make Monty levitate. Period. How can I know that? Because never has it been demonstrated that a supernatural anything has any powers. Period. Whenever we do these simple experiments like this, they go, oh, well, you're just a village atheist or something like that. They go, well, it's just divine hiddenness. I did a video on that with help of a couple of YouTubers a while back. I have no tuck with divine hiddenness. Basically, if there is a God, it either doesn't have the power to levitate Monty here, or doesn't care enough to do it. One or the other, or a combination of both. So, if this idea has any merit, I just completely and utterly annihilated it right here and now. Monty didn't levitate. And don't give me, well, that's not how you're saved, or you can't test God. No, you said you had irrefutable, indisputable proof for the existence of God. Now, which God, I don't know. I know that this particular video is trying to get the Christian God concept somehow, but nonetheless, no. Now, you might say, well, what would have happened, Deconverted Man, had Monty levitated? I would have screamed like a little girl, dropped my camera and been like, oh my word. I would have been freaked out, because it's not something that I would expect to happen. So maybe you just, oh, well, you don't have enough faith. But you know what? You might. So do whatever you think will make this guy levitate. Not going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now. You waste all your time you want, but it's not going to happen. So the answer to this question is, I guess it could, but apparently God doesn't care enough or has the power to actually prove his existence. But that's not the entirety of the video. That's just like it's at 024 that this text is here. Then it says, if he's really moving all of history, doesn't make sense that he would actually leave us with indisputable evidence that he exists and that the Bible really is his word. Which Bible? You do know that there's more than one Bible. You know what the word Bible means, right? Probably not. ppsimmons or ppsimmons, however you say your name. Here's the thing. Bible means a collection of books. You know, books that you don't read. Oh, sorry, I'm being really mean to him. It's really not fair. Yeah, how about some evidence? You know, archaeological evidence, evidence outside of the Torah, what we would call the Torah, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yeah, that would be great. We don't have any. It'd be nice if we did, but there is none. So, yeah, that would be great. Too bad there isn't any. Oops. So, going past that, he says he can and he did. And then it quotes Deuteronomy 4:35. Now, it actually does this a couple different times, and it says that you've been shown things, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Circular logic is circular. Try harder. Then it says, consider these facts. The books of Genesis through Deuteronomy are about 3,500 years old. No, not even close. Now, you know what would be good at this point? Citation. Citation. The description box, void of citation. The video, void of citation. Need answers to life and Bible questions? Write us at ppsimmons@live.com. Yeah, I've got a question. Where do you get this idea from? Where's the evidence for this? If it's not there, you're lying, man. I'm just calling you out. You're just lying. And then it goes on to say that there's prophecies in the Old Testament. No, none of them matter. First of all, many of them have been shown to be completely false. Secondly, if you know what's going to happen and you write down what happened, that's not a prophecy. Okay? Now, what he's trying to say and what he's leading up to is that the nation of Israel has made a huge comeback from devastating defeat, that the Jewish people somehow got it back, and it's improbable and statistically impossible, and it's miraculous. Yeah, you know, the Jewish people that suffered during, the Holocaust thing. And what I love here is the flip-flopping, that the Jewish people are completely invincible as long as they're with God. When they turn their backs, that's when they fail. But see, here's what really goes down. If you need an excuse to why you lost your battle, it is a great thing to say, you lost your faith in our God. That's why we lost the battle. You weren't worshiping Yahweh, the War God. That's why we lost the battle. And if we win the battle, then we were worshiping Yahweh. It's great for completely subjective confirmation bias. Everything in here, everything is circular. There is no evidence for any of this. No archaeological evidence, no historical evidence. It doesn't matter that the Jewish people came back to Israel. That's what's known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. If anybody works hard and long enough at coming back to their land, eventually, in years, maybe, or centuries, they'll make a comeback. It might take a while, but they'll get there. I'm not impressed that it, took them so freaking long to get back. That's just not impressive to me. And, it's a special pleading of, May 14th, 1948, Israel was reborn, as if this matters, as if this is a great confirmation of prophecy. No, it's just, again, it's a self-fulfilled prophecy. If you really work at it, you'll get back to your land that you want. Here's the other thing. Let's say the people of Tibet, the original people there, they want to go back, but they don't want to use war to go back. They want to use peaceful means to go back. Well, one day, eventually, they're going to be able to go back. Does that mean anything? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything at all. And it talks about Israel fighting all these battles. Yeah, they got help like every single time. And it's interesting that in none of those battles did God do anything. Here's the thing. The Jewish people supposedly had the Ark of the Covenant. And when they carried that around, they were unbeatable. So where did it go? How could you just leave something like that behind, or forget it, or lose it, or why? Well, God took it back because of blah, blah, blah. Come on, it's just ridiculous. And then there's stock footage of different movies here and stock images used. And his little logo, the ppsimmons logo, covers some of the words half the time. So, not half the time, but it covers the words a lot. So it's kind of funny because, I can't read certain words. Like, right here, 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Neither the Quran, the ppsimmons, nor the writings of Confucius. I'll show the screen briefly, but it is copyright, so goodness gracious, I might get flagged for this. So look. Laziness. Come on, man. So none of the other holy books have ever made this extraordinary claim. They've made other ones, but not this one. Special pleading. And then again, more Bible quotes. The nation of Israel is a nation, so that's supposed to mean something, and it's supposed to be a living witness of the existence of Yahweh. No, it's a living witness of the people working really hard to get their land back. And the Muslims are still there too. They've got the mosque right on top of that temple that they want, and you've got people basically fighting over a piece of dirt because both of them think it's holy. Why doesn't God just eradicate anyone that's not his chosen people from that area, or teleport them away? No, I'm not going to do that. And then again, with more Bible quotes, I'm not even going to read. I don't care because you haven't. And then this end time thing, the time, the countdown for the end has started when Israel became a nation. It's been going on for 60 years. Every generation of evangelistic Christians has thought that this generation will see the end. Every single one, and every single time, nothing has happened. Nothing. This world is not going anywhere. It's been here for 4.54 billion years. Bad deconverted man. Been here for 4.54 million years. And it's going to be here a while. Now, maybe the human race will go away because we, annihilate each other over pieces of dirt. But the Earth isn't going anywhere. And this is all just one giant appeal to fear, so that you think that the end of the world is coming, so you better repent now before, the rapture happens or whatever, because then you'll really regret it. Ooh. You know what? I would be more afraid of the lobster original deity's return, which has been told to me secretly into my brain, and only I know its actual return. So you better join the lobster original deity religion, or else something horrible will happen. And if you do join, then something good will happen. I won't tell you what, but it will be really, really good. That's it. This is what passes for proof of God these days. Wow. Pathetic, lazy video. Stock footages, video clips, your logos in front of words. I mean, it's not even anyone talking. It's just text on the screen while music plays in the background. Wow, I haven't seen that a zillion times. And 0 citations. 0. Not in the description, not in the video. 0 citations. All that they have as far as just in the description box is links to their Facebook and Twitter and their books that they're trying to sell or whatever. Only I'm allowed to sell a book. Dang it. And I'm still working on it, so whatever. But look, you can do better. Can't you? Can't you do better? I mean, this is important, right? You want me to think that this is important, right? You're talking about an entity that can't levitate a stuffed animal to save its life, figuratively speaking, but is really important for me to believe in, because if I don't, then bad things will happen. Yet, you can't spend the time and energy to make a decent video about it? Come on, man. I mean, this is just pure laziness. Forget about, for a moment, the logical fallacies, because it's chock full of logical fallacies. Circular argumentation, appeal to... really just appeal to fear. There really isn't anything else to go, and just basically outright lies and failure to give an argument as a formal fallacy. But at any rate, it's chock full of logical fallacies. I mean, mostly circular argumentation over and over and over again, and that's it. There isn't anything that proves anything about anything at all. All it is confirmation bias and a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm not impressed. Plus, there's prophecies in the Old Testament that have failed utterly, but you just reinterpret it and it's all fine. The people did the work. No deity is involved. No supernatural event has occurred that we could really identify as that. No bolts of lightning striking down all the people that oppose the Jewish people as they form their nation again. No teleportation of the enemies far away from them so they can't hurt them. Nothing mystical or magical or supernatural has happened. I want to reference you a Star Trek The Next Generation episode called The Devil's Due. If you have, an hour-ish to spend, go watch that episode. It is relevant to what I'm talking about here. In that episode, the people of this planet make a deal with the devil and are waiting for the devil to come back. The devil does come back, and basically they have to hand over the planet. But Picard points out that the devil did nothing to help them. It was all them, their work, their effort that changed the world. The devil didn't help because the devil didn't exist. The devil that's there is actually a charlatan. Somebody's just, using the transporter and other technology that's available. Now, because they were so ready to believe that this was a devil, that this was their devil, they bought into the scam. And technology sufficient enough would appear to be magic to us. So, an alien culture that had transporters and replicators like on Star Trek The Next Generation and holodeck technology could do amazing things, and we would have no way to explain it unless we found the ship in orbit. Unless we investigate it and be skeptical of it, which is what Picard and the crew of the Enterprise do. They are completely skeptical of it from start to finish, and they investigate it. Now, it's mostly Picard leading that charge, but nonetheless, nobody buys into it. Nobody thinks that this is real. They investigate it, they uncover the fraud, and they show it up for what it really is. And that's exactly what we should do regarding any deities at all. If they want us to think that they exist, don't do prophecies that are vague in some book that we might overlook by accident or be skeptical of. Do something demonstrably demonstratable. Have my stuffed cat levitate. That would convince me that there's something more than just the natural world. The only conclusion I can draw is if there is a deity, it doesn't have the power, or doesn't care, or a combination thereof, enough. It doesn't care enough. Maybe it cares, but maybe not enough to do that. And if you want to say, well, you're not supposed to test God, well, you know what? Then God doesn't want to be demonstrated to exist. This is pathetic. It's not just pathetic because of the logical fallacies. It's pathetic at every single level that it could be pathetic. If you're going to start and say, well, God's going to give us proof, that's obviously going to be challenged. And then you're just going to cite your own Bible. Big whoopee-doo. It's not impressive. If there was, I'm going to say 100 clear, precise predictions about future events that are so specific, that are so descriptive, that it isn't guesswork, and it is exactly 100, no more, no less, 100 that you want to say came from God. Fine. First of all, go to James Randi, put in that bet, and say, okay, look, here's these 100 prophecies that are all going to come true next week. And if they all come true next week, I get the $1 million. And they're all about events that we can't predict. Like, I'm not talking about earthquakes or tornadoes or natural disasters. I mean, I'm talking things that there's no way you could predict it. There's just zero way. Or that you would be given the knowledge of something that you couldn't possibly know, like what's in the pants pocket of somebody across the world from you, or something like that. Okay? That would be something. But not a single piece of evidence like that has ever been shown. When I say the supernatural isn't very super, it's not just a thing I came up with for a video. It's really my big problem with this idea. It's one of the big problems I have with this idea of God. If it exists, it is identical with nature. And so it is indistinguishable from nature, so there's no reason to posit it. I don't need it as an explanation. We used to believe that demons and evil spirits or whatever were what made us sick. Germ theory blew that out of the window. Now, a few people still believe that out there, but not many. What's next? God is being pushed into the margins, and we don't need God to explain anything. And all we ever see is God of the gaps. That's all we ever get. But what irritates me more than the logical fallacies is if you're going to come and say God matters to you, I believe you because I'm okay with assuming that you're being honest with that idea. You know, it's a social norm to think that you're telling the truth until I see otherwise. Okay. And then you're going to present a video that is this lazy. You've pretty much said, yes, this is the most important thing to me, but here you go. Meh. Here's my effort. It's like, it's the same thing with the Christians that don't read the Bible all the way through, and they don't learn the history of it. I've asked Christians, do you know the history of the Bible? No. Why not? Because I don't need to. Lazy. All I need to know is that I'm saved. So you don't really care about it. You don't really think it's the most important thing in the world, because if you did, it would be your life. It would be every minute piece of your brain that you could delve into would do so. You would put all your effort and energy into it that wasn't going into making a living, which is another thing that you have to do. God doesn't provide. It's you. It's you going to work. It's you finding that job, and it's you maintaining that job. At no point does any miracle occur there. It just doesn't happen. So if it is something that really exists, it's still you doing that work. So what good is God if it's not going to help you or anyone else to do anything? And you just want a genie in a bottle. No, I just want actual evidence for once. Now, I would love a logically coherent argument. Don't have that here for sure. I would love to have that. Personally, that would make me happy. I would be extraordinarily happy. I would do video after video about it. I would talk about it endlessly. People would get sick of me, and I probably would lose some subscribers. But I would stand by the argument, and I would defend it. But no one has produced that. Here's an idea. Maybe, just maybe, there isn't proof of this. Maybe this is a belief that we humans have invented and come up with that we hold dear. No doubt about it, you care about this idea. You care about this concept. But you don't care as much about it as you claim to. And I think that's evident when you have videos like this. That doesn't negate the argument, by the way. But there's no argument to negate here. There's nothing here in this video, at any rate. There's nothing to negate. I have nothing to talk about. It's circular logic. It's just, oh, the Bible said this thing would happen, and it happened. Okay, self-fulfilled prophecy. Big freaking whoopee-doo. That doesn't prove diddly poop. Try harder. That's all for now, unless and until we have a logically coherent argument, or some evidence, or somebody can make this guy levitate. We have to continue to be skeptical of the conclusions.